back to my channel. So instead of a behind the scenes video, I thought I would surprise you with a December daily walkthrough. I never got to share a walkthrough with you, and tomorrow the December Daily 2025 collection releases. So I thought it was a great time to just share my album and share different ideas that I use throughout my album. And I'm just so excited. I'm so excited to share this with you. I think this was my 14th year. So this year will be year number 15, I believe. But I've done it since 2011 or 2010. Can't remember. It's been a very, very long time. It's my favorite project. I just think it is so special. So I'm excited to share it with you, to get some new December daily goodies. I would love to know in the comment section what you guys are looking forward to and picking up. I know that I really wanted a green album this year, but they didn't put out a new one, so I'm not sure. But I had picked up 2 of these albums to use for 2024, but I only wound up using 1. So I don't really have to get an album, and I can just use the red one. And then if they release a green one down the road, I can grab that and switch things around. But I hope you guys are ready, and grab your project or a favorite drink, and let's go ahead and get started. Let's jump right in and check out 2024. Like I mentioned in the introduction, I actually bought 2 albums for last year, but decided that I only needed the 1. So I might just save myself a little bit of money and use this album again. I do wish that they would come out with green albums, because it'd be nice to break up all the red, but that's okay. So if you've watched any of my videos in the past, you know that I love to do some type of transparency or clear insert or something like that, and then you can see either a family photo or one of my decor boxes. We got a really great Thanksgiving picture, so I went with that, and this old 6x8 transparency, and then I strung some lights up there and added 24. It's overall a pretty simple page, but you know, and I like that it's simple because you can kind of ease yourself into jumping into December daily. After that, I wanted to try the table of contents just like Ali Edwards, so that is what I did. And I just added a little, flap right here since I went all the way to the 31st. And I just kind of rotated my pins between my Tombos and also my Sharpie pen. I wanted to use this die cut, so I just put it right there, and it looks great. Sometimes I think with these die cuts, we think we have to do something special with them or, jazz them up, but I don't think so. Let's just get them in the album. Next up is the reason why, and this time I tried it on vellum, and then you could see my decor box, and I love how this came together. I can't remember if I scrap lifted it or it just came from my head, but I love it. It looks wonderful. And of course, all my Target birds. If you've been around my channel a while, you know that I absolutely love Target birds. I love them. And Christmas is my biggest collection of birds. They are just amazing. Then we go into the 1st. And again, I feel like jumping into December daily is a little bit like jumping in a cold river. You just got to do it. And once you do it, it just flows. So I started off the 1st with a collage of different things that were going on, getting groceries delivered, getting out the boxes of decor. And I think my daughter was building something from her Legos, and then setting up various decorations. I also got a doormat. Of course, it was Target birds. So I put that on a piece of transparency right here. That way I didn't have to punch holes, and then it looks fantastic. And then I just say hello December with the alpha stamp set, and I used it throughout this album. Next up is the 2nd, and I loved the 10x8 paper that said magic is something we make. But I don't have a 10x8 album, so I just cut it down and it looks amazing. Added a little gold star and stapled a 2. And behind that is just a little bit of journaling about the day and what was going on. Probably could have tucked something behind here for some journaling. That would have been fun. Or maybe the bookmark, did like a faux pretend bookmark. But this is the picture I went with, reading with my daughter, and I did it a little smaller so I could use this paper that went well with the photo. For the third, I decided to talk about our elves. I said Melvin and Matilda, they are still going strong. I thought they were retired, but they are still going. And I pop dotted these vellum ornaments, at least this one I did, and these ones are just flat. But again, I used pattern paper. I wanted to carry the tree theme all the way through. Overall, a simple page, but again, it's beautiful and I love it. Now this one, I felt very smart doing this one. I pretty much created a belt, I guess you could say, a belt for the middle of my page. I took a piece of laminate paper that I had because I have my own personal laminator. So when I run things through, I save any scraps. And this is exactly why. So I used double-sided tape and then, well, first I bent it with a bone folder and then I added the double-sided tape, and now it looks like the 4 is floating on top, and it's just amazing. I had already used a lot of vellum, so I did not want to use too much, if that makes sense, but this was the first idea I came up with. How can I make the 4 float? And I came up with this. So you just turn that, and then you can see we got our ornaments on the 4th, and I just quickly jotted them down. Some years I've used an app to like draw an arrow and then type it out. This year I did not. I also decided to put the big photo of the kids and just put it in all 4 pockets. And for me, that just involves taking the photo, making sure that it will be this size for these 4 pockets, and then just duplicating it. Once I have it nicely arranged in one pocket, I can go ahead and duplicate it for the other pockets and it will fit really well. My daughter and I love to bake during the holidays. We just love it. And we definitely wanted something simple, and we went with edible cookie dough. This was a font I downloaded and then cut out on my Cameo. And I took a photo of me holding the cookie dough and put it on the vellum. And I love how that turned out. And then the 5 is like a tree topper. And you turn it and you get the story of us making the cookie dough. Again, using December story and then stamping a nice border around the edge. And then a flip up to see another photo of my daughter. And making the photos black and white because, you know, our clothes, I think my daughter was wearing blue and I was wearing purple. So it just made sense to make them black and white. And that also allows for this to kind of pop a little bit more. So I know I said I completed all my albums, but I just realized that I did not complete this. I think I set the stats that I had finished or that I'd counted up. I set the information aside somewhere and I just need to find it. So I will work on that and get back to you. But I love how this page turned out. I took some digital frames from a 10x8 paper and I was able to cut them out with my Cameo and then add in some different stats that I wanted to keep track of. The reason I needed this filler page, and normally I just do like a pattern paper or a quote because I don't want something like this where I may forget. But I really loved, somebody in the community did a stats page, and so I wanted to try it. I guess I wasn't so successful, but I tried my best, and I just need to see if I can find where the information is and go ahead and stamp it with like a large alpha stamp. For the 6th, I did gingerbread friends, and I had the best time making this. This project actually kind of set me behind by a few days because I had to wait for my Cameo blade, but totally worth it. Linda at Linda Loves Creating set up an amazing gift exchange with a few of us, and so I just wanted to talk about that. And I used a really, really old iPhone template to insert my photos and put the numbers on there. So I actually got Linda for my person, and she posted about the mug that I sent her, and then I have a selfie of her, and then my person sent me a mug, and so I really loved it. I also sent my friend Jen Boom. I call her Jen Boom, but she's Jen Boomis, Jen Boom Creates. I sent her some stickers and a kit that I no longer wanted. So I just included all this fun stuff in here and titled it, like I said, Gingerbread Friends. For the 7th, I think I remember this project totally just getting away from me and not like going the opposite direction that I had planned. So my kids and I went shopping, and I wanted to document how we were out on the town, and I took a few snapshots, and so it came together much better than I thought, but it definitely got a little complicated. So I have the 7 with the tag for the journaling, and then I made it so the kids' photo, you could see us right there. I cut out some of the houses to pop dot them so it looks more dimensional. I have, you know, our Target and then our Michaels, and it looks great. And I used a lot of older pieces I had in my stash. On the 8th, I worked on my book ornament, where I make a foam book for all the books that I read, and my daughter usually helps me with that. So I included just one more chapter, number 8. And then I put books 2024. I think all of this is just cut on my Cameo. So we're not gonna always have great days in December. It's just not gonna happen. That's not realistic. So this was all about one of those crazy days. Mondays are always and still very busy days for me. So I did just another manic Monday, and then I flip and I use this 4x6 card to talk about what was going on during that day. For the 10th, I wanted to do something special, so I talked about my birds. I had never done like an overview of my birds in my entire collection. So I decided to use this incredible paper and document all my birds. I figured out a size that would work in here, used my Cameo to cut them out, and then I just started chronologically with 2021, and then included the names of all the different birds and how many birds I had displayed. Plus I said there's 3 saved for January, and then I just went all the way down. And I really am honestly obsessed with this page. It just turned out amazing. And then this one, you can see all the different displays in my house for my birds. Pretty much anywhere I can stick a bird, I'm gonna stick a bird. For the 11th, you saw these were out. They just tell the story of different shopping things and what was going on as far as working on different lists for different people. And I used a wreath, the number 11 bag from an advent calendar, and just put a season of giving, and that's it. And again, it's on laminator paper, so it is pretty sturdy in there. This is another project that kind of got away from me. I had this idea to do something about houses and cozy and cuddling, and this is what I came up with. I really wanted this to tuck into the trees, but it didn't come out that way, so, you know, I just made it work as best as I could. You flip it up and you see my daughter and I cut this off so that way it wouldn't peek out, and then I have some stamping and also some journaling right there. But I think that's also the point of December Daily, is to just come up with ideas and ways, if you want to, fun ways to document your stories and just try it. Just play with the products and just try it. Because I really wanted to use this colorful tree piece, and I wanted to make a house somewhere in my album, and this was the day I decided. And I also had to position this stamp so comfy right there, and the 12. So it was a little tricky getting everything to work, but I got it to work and I had fun playing. So that's what matters. Another relatively easy page that I do a lot in my albums throughout the years is a currently page. So I took a photo of my outfit and decided to use my Cameo to cut out a bunch of the poinsettias and use this little tag that says currently Friday. And it was Friday the 13th. And I had an older stamp set that was has all these different phrases on it. So I use that as my jumping off point. So I have so thankful, eating, making, love the lights, comfort and joy, enjoying, time together, and today's story. Again, a very simple page and a great idea if you want to document every day and you don't have like something that's quote unquote festive, this is a go-to page for me, go-to page idea for me. Same thing with this one, the weather, the season. We were moving into December, so I just talked about rainy and stormy weather, and I included 2 screenshots of the weather and just a little note on the December day. And I used these craft pieces to kind of frame it in. And then, I mean, this isn't like a super special photo, but it still is totally a winter sky, and it works great. So that's 14, then we move into 15. My daughter did some baking with her friend. I think they were creating pizza wreaths or something, cookie wreaths that were pizza. I don't know. It was a mess. I do remember that. I have one swing up to show the final product, and they just had a blast doing this together. For the 16th, I wanted to document time with my friend and just talking to my friend as we go into a new week. And she sent me a heart in 2023. So this year I continued it by sending it first, and she was wearing blue and I have a neutral. So I decided to just go with the blue and do all the hearts and circles. I think this is what I'm considering the 17th. This is where I stuck my mini book that I read. I included the various books and little snapshots of me reading. And then the vellum insert, you can see more books. I don't think I read enough to put in here, or maybe I forgot. I don't know. That's another thing that I can check. But I really did enjoy making this book. It was just a little more complex than I anticipated, but I do like documenting my reading. And I put it on the back of some chipboard to make it a little sturdier. And here's an example of a filler page where it's just, you know, printed. This was actually a printed pattern, but you know, nothing complicated because I wanted the 18th to be on the right hand side. So on the 18th, my husband and I, it was a Wednesday evening, and both kids wound up having activities that took them out of the house. So my husband and I wound up with like just a break for both of us, and we watched a movie. So that's what I decided to document, and I love it. So Morgan Beale, I think she was the one that did this first, and she helped me out with the size of these page protectors. So I just did kind of an everyday around here type of layout, working out, school with my husband, the elves, and then on the back I have some more. And this one I just had the big giant circles, and I just did patterned paper there. It was really special. So my best friend has been coming to visit me and the kids, I think for 13 years. And in the summer we talked about what Christmas activity have we not done in a while. And I said, I don't think we've done the zoo lights in 10 years. So I looked it up, and sure enough, it was just about 10 years. So we asked the big teenager if he would recreate some photos, and he said yes. Oh my goodness, these are just amazing and so special. All of these have process videos, so you can see more, but you can see, look, oh my goodness, isn't that priceless? That is utterly priceless, and still one of the coolest things that my giant teenager has ever let us do. So I framed it inside the wreath, and it's just incredible. I put the 20 over here because it just worked better, and I talked about what we did. I think I used a 4x6 or something. I don't remember how I did this, but I was able to duplicate the wreaths right there, and then just used basic pocket pages to document all the photos and all the celebrating. The following day was the 21st, and we had breakfast together, and then we decided to open up some presents. So I used a ton of these scallop frames and then put celebrating here and just a few different photos. Moving into the 22nd, I was able to have some time to myself. So I went ahead and cut out some more of these story pieces, and a Merry and Bright was in my stash for many years. And then I took this one and broke it up, and you flip it up and you can see my space, and that's it. That was 2022, simple and done, but I love it. 23, I started off by talking about my daughter and how much she loves the porch, and it took us till the 23rd to get these out, but my daughter kept reminding us, and I'm thankful that she did. So then you turn it, and I put some more of the ing here. I was inspired by Allie to use this paper, and it paired really nicely with this day, which was on a weekend. Christmas Eve, I started off with a bullet point list, a tree, and then again putting it on the laminator strip. I actually have a really bad problem with storing all my laminator strips. I just store them all the time, and now working at school, I store those too. So I always have these on hand to punch, and then I can add them to a page. On the back of this is a photo of me holding up a cocoa mug. Then we move into the 25th. I think I accidentally cut part of the D off, not knowing that it was part of it, but that's okay. So Christmas, a whole big photo of us, both grandparents. Then you turn it, and I just did a gigantic collage. That's my go-to. I don't make it complicated. I don't overthink it, just a collage. And a little bit of embellishments, and we're good. Good and done. So after that is the 26th. I put it really tiny up there, but I wanted to document a few stories about making. I used the acetate word there. The 27th, my daughter and I went to see a movie, and I decided to use this 1, 2, 3 card. Makes it pretty simple and easy to complete a page. For the 28th, we went on a family hike, and I combined pieces from December Daily and then this acetate word from a story kit, Savor. And then I also included a little tag here and just cut them. For this one, I talked about my gift exchange with Erica, and I think it was part of the 28th, but I didn't give it a day, so I just put it over here, but also made sure that it kind of coordinated with what I was gonna do over here. So I paired a bunch of presents together and stacked them and layered them, and then I made this card, and I have a screenshot of both of us, so I used both of them. I don't think I took any photos whatsoever, but I had this die cut floating in my stash, because if you've seen any of my prep setup videos, I will link one in the eye. I have a box of die cuts, and it just stuff gets thrown in there throughout the years of things that I either die cut and never used, or I die cut just to have on hand, and I had this one. So what I did is puttering around the house, a house die cut, and then a few stars for the 29th. Simple, and I love it. And I don't have to feel like pressure that, oh my goodness, I didn't have a photo. Nope, this works just fine. Now this was a page, I was very excited to use a full vellum sheet and put this page protector or this flip up pocket on top of the vellum, but I think I got distracted. It still works because you can still see the snow picture, but I originally wanted a big giant vellum piece. Instead, I just put it on top of the vellum pocket. So there's a photo of my daughter and my son, and I just slipped those in there. And then you turn it, and I have like a whole forest of trees going on and a collage, and both family photos because they were hilarious. And again, go-to is collages. Another filler page, I honestly just took 2 scraps and threw them together, and I think overall it works. If I knew how to stitch, then I probably would have stitched here, but this works just fine. Then we move into the 31st, but before I closed out the album, I wanted to make this special page where I documented each of the months. So I have all the way to December, and I think some of them, yep, on August I did 2 photos, and I just made it really tiny right here so I could write a very small note. And then my son in September, October, the special trip to see my mom, and then December. So this was amazing, a lot of work, but so much fun. And then I just folded it in half because, again, I don't have a 10 by 8 album. Then I finished with New Year's Eve. I just did 2 photos that I got and used a gold 31 and a bunch of stars. And that's it. That is it. It is jam-packed with all kinds of memories, and I absolutely love December Daily. I hope that this was exciting to see my full walkthrough finally, and I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this. I would love a thumbs up or a subscribe if you are new to my channel. Have a great day. Bye.